How's everybody doing on this beautiful Friday? Listen, it's been a long week for your girl. Your girl has been going live every day, 3 and 4 hours a day, and you guys have been right here rocking with your girl. I am MMG, the Mommy Money Getter. Let's get that out the way. And welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Replay Gang, thank you for all of the replays. You guys have been going in and watching all of my videos this week, all of my lives. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from you all, a lot of I love your commentary, and just a lot of comments after the live shows. I really appreciate that. I couldn't ask for a better support system. You guys are the best. You really rock out. So today I'm back with another live, another exciting live. Sorry, I do have my camera off today just because your girl is exhausted. And I didn't really feel like being on camera today, but it's going to be just as great as it always is. I got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to discuss. So I hope you're ready. Hit that like button when you come in for me. Please hit the like button when you come in. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this live crack-a-lacking, okay? The more you like the live, the more you engage, the more you comment, the more people get in here and we can all bounce off of each other. I just feel like when we have a good mix of people commenting and enjoying themselves in the chat, it just makes it that much more dope, right? So yeah, I was gonna go live a little earlier, but shoot, I had to stop by the grocery store. I had to put my dinner in the oven. I had to do all kinds of things because I'm not just a content creator. I'm a mom. Um, I have my own business. I got a lot of stuff going on, and on any given day, I'm doing a million different things. But like I said, we got a good lineup ahead of us. We have T on Karreuche Tran and Deion Sanders. Are they secretly married? You know what I'm saying? Are they married and keeping it on the low? If so, that's their business. But you know what? Over here, we talk about other people's business. So, okay. Um, that'd be weird, though, kind of, you know? I don't know. Deion Sanders a little old. Not for me. Not for me. He's probably just right for me. But not even for me. I don't know. I'm not quite 50 yet. How old is Deion? How old is Deion? I know he's had some health struggles, and I hope everything is everything on that front. We're not gonna get into his personal business on his health, but we are gonna get into his love life. Okay. Also, I have a damn update. No, it's not damn. David. What's that boy's name? The way he spells it is so weird. He's weird. I found that picture of him that I put in the thumbnail, and he had like the original picture was like he had a knife going through his chest and blood everywhere. So he's a weirdo, guys. And first of all, let me do my fair use uh, disclaimer before I get to getting into everybody's business. And you guys, go ahead and let me know where you are chatting from and all of that stuff. Why can't I see my comments? What is going on? Hold on, let me get on my other phone so I can see. Oh Lord, let me see. Give me a second, guys. I actually scheduled the live for. I thought I had went back in and scheduled it for 12:30, but then I seen that it was scheduled for. It was still at 12 o'clock, so I was like, let me get on there. Hey, Moonlight, you're from Nigeria. How's it over there? What time is it over there in Nigeria, by the way? How is my West African brother doing? Let me turn down my sound on my laptop while my other phone charges. It's 8:16 p.m. Wow. Okay, so you guys are 8 hours ahead. That's 8 hours, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 hours ahead. Thank you for tuning in. I think it's awesome that I can have people texting me or, excuse me, joining my lives from different countries. I love that. I love that about the internet, that we can connect with people who are in another place, but you can't see me. No, you can't. You can go see me on old content, though. I was live with my camera on yesterday. Today, I got a lot going on, so I'm not gonna, which I'm really not gonna get into. But you can still hear me, right? You can hear me, so um, that's what's most important. Because podcasts are about being able to listen and tune in with your earphones in at work. On your long drives, you'll be listening. You can't really watch if you're on a long drive, right, or if you're working. I'm from the U.S., Moonlight. I'm from the U.S., North America. Um, Let me see. Where is my channel at? I promise next time I will be prepared. I don't know what is going on today, but we're gonna this thing going. We also have Cardi B tea. Cardi B has revealed that she is pregnant, and today TMZ TMZ is gonna always get to the tea. Okay, you cannot hide anything from TMZ. All right. If you don't want it told, don't tell nobody, because all it takes is that one person you told to go ahead and spill your tea, and everybody knows your business. Thank you for that compliment, Moonlight. I appreciate that. I like your username. That's cool, Moonlight. I like that. One of my daughters, her name actually means like the moonlight. I think that's pretty cool. All right. Let me see. Also, let me put something in the chat for those of you who want to support my channel as well, because I appreciate you all for coming over here, and I hate to beg, but if you, I'm not monetized yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting there quickly. This week we did really good. I should be monetized very soon. But if you would like to support my channel, you can don't. If you would like to support the channel, you can send a donation to my Cash App, and I would appreciate that as well. And my Cash App is just Mommy Money Getter. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the chat for those of you who would like to do that. If not, I appreciate your attendance. Hey Tamara, how are you doing today? Tamara, we have a lot of tea to get on. Love from Nigeria. You guys know Cardi B in Nigeria, right? Cardi B just had a new album come out today. Last night rather. It came out 12 midnight if you're on the East Coast, but 9 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. So I did a little listening party, and I reviewed the entire album. If you want to hear my rating on Cardi B's new album, go ahead and check out my live that I did last night. It's still up. So it just says Cardi B listening party, and what was it? Let me go back to it. My internet is going pretty slow today, so let me know if I'm dragging or anything. Hey Rich, how you doing today? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Thank you guys. I've got 8 people in the live and not one like. That is cray. It's called Cardi B Am I the Drama album reaction. So you guys can go check that out if you want to after this live. But yes, that's crazy that I don't have not one like, or that I don't see one like, and I have 8 people in here rocking with me. So please, let's get the likes up and we'll get started. And also, right, Richie. Thank you, Rich. Also, I don't have a mod over here. Okay, I got 2 likes. That's good. That's what's up. Um, thank you for liking. I'm doing great today, Richie. Uh, I got y'all money for the prizes tomorrow, okay? Because I know you and Yo Yo said you guys are gonna do a dance off. So I got a little prize. I got some prizes. I'm gonna give out a few cash prizes. Last pajama party, I did like I gave out like a $50 cash prize, but I think I'm gonna do several. Maybe I don't know how much I'm gonna give out. I just feel generous. So, guys, me and Richie are talking about my pajama party tomorrow. It'll kick off at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Also, make sure that you have your notifications set to all notifications so that you, in case you forget and you're doing something else or whatever. And plus, we'll be on probably all night. Our last pajama party started at 6 p.m. and it went all the way until like 2 p.m. So we don't play around. We have fun over here. You like her with offset? You like her, you kind of like her with offset rather than Diz. Okay. She might as well have stayed with her husband, guys. Today, TMZ posted a picture of, well, a video. TMZ had a video of Cardi's new man at the hospital putting a car seat in, you know, in their vehicle, and there was a woman inside. He was at the hospital, so he already had a baby this year. Okay, this was in May. Cardi's about a good 4 or 5 months pregnant, so he just had a baby in May. Then he had a baby in April. That mom is also suing him for child support. That lawsuit happened in December, so this is well before we even actually knew that he was dating Cardi. But I belong to different message boards, so I knew Cardi was pregnant months before she announced it. I knew all about Stephon Diggs because he has a message board full of messages about him and his antics. This is what I want to know, and this is the question I ask. Why do women jump from one relationship to the other? Cardi left Offset because he cheated, and she left Offset because of the issues he had with infidelity. And the one that she's with now is no better. This guy is also problematic. He has 4 children this year. There's someone also pregnant with twins for him. So he's already had 2 children this year alone. And he's irresponsible because he's not married to any of these women. And one of the babies, he's denying paternity. So you're sleeping with women and you're denying paternity at that. Yes, Cardi did. She did her thing. She did her thing. You got to check out my response, Richard. You got to go back and check out my response. I'm not going to comment on it here, but you got to check out my reaction and see how I felt about it. Hey, M3, thanks for tuning in. Yes, Offset always trolls her, Moonlight. Well, she's not a victim, Moonlight. She's making these choices on her own. She didn't give herself enough time to actually heal. She said, Stephon told her, let me heal you. How can a man heal you, first of all? And to take credit for your emotional well-being? Absolutely not. Cardi had just had Blossom. She's a mother of 3. She just had Blossom. And there was already reports out that while she was pregnant with Blossom, she was sending different photos to Stephon. So she had been dealing with Stephon before she even announced her divorce from Offset. She announced the divorce from Offset in the summer of last year when she announced her pregnancy. So she was already done with Offset even as early as June of 2024. And I guess he didn't think she meant it, but she meant it. And they probably still were living together and all that, but she meant it, and she was already dealing with Stephon. You said you feel like she keeps going for the wrong guys. Well, if she keeps going for the wrong guys, then what does that make her? Water seeks its own level. Water seeks its own level. So if these guys are the wrong type of guys, then what does that make her? Because she's choosing them. Exactly. M3, I only have like 4 likes and 12 of you in here. That's scandalous. I told y'all yesterday, y'all scandalous for real. Like, you, how hard is it to double tap that screen and then somebody leaves? Yeah, bye. If it's that hard for you to hit the screen and like it, then bye. That's crazy. But whatever, whatever. Some women just think they need a man to survive, but sometimes you just need to be on your own if you can't find the right man. Exactly, Tamara. I know women like that who cannot live without a man. I know them personally. Like if they break up with one guy, they're going out to the clubs, they're getting dressed every day. They might even be mothers, so they're leaving their kids with grandma. They're hanging out every weekend until they get another man. And what do you know? That man is right back around the kids. The problem is with women is that they love bad guys, and surely they'll break their heart. I think that some women like bad guys. Some women that's true, Moonlight. I don't think that's true of all women, especially women who are mature and who have been through some things and have learned from their mistakes and they know better. Or some women are just that boss. Like me, I'm a boss like that. But it took me a while to get there. You know what I mean? Some women are just boss like that. They know who they are. They know they look good. They know they can have any man they want. They know that they have it together. And they know that they're an asset. And they know that they have it going on whether they have a man in their life or not, right? Some women just know that, like, you can't play with them. But yeah, I think she's definitely making bad choices in men. And I think part of it is because she felt like a lot of people were saying, and even Offset was telling her, like, you got 3 kids, what man is going to want you? And she's like, look, I'm pretty, I'm famous, I'm rich. Some man is going to want me. Another rich man is going to want me. But think about it, guys. She is a mom of 3. She does have the baggage with Offset, and she's a lot. Cardi has a big mouth. She doesn't mind going on the internet and discussing her business. She doesn't mind going on the internet and airing out whatever is going on in her relationship. So for some men, she could be problematic. You know, some women that break up with a man and get a new man 2 days later. Tamara, I'm always advocating that women should date and date frequently until you find, not sleep with, not live with, not have different men in and out of your bed, but I'm saying you should date. Have different men that take you out and that pursue you, because men should be the pursuer, not the other way around. And women shouldn't wait around on men to pursue them. They should live their lives, and especially if you're a single mom, live your life and take care of your family, take care of your home, take care of yourself. I lost myself when I was married and working and being a mom, and I kind of let myself go. Not kind of, I did. Um, and so I'm getting back to that. Like today, I worked out. I've been working out. I feel really good working out, breaking a sweat, eating good, all that stuff. And don't you know, I feel so happy. Women, give yourself that chance to have that opportunity. Don't feel like, oh, I don't have a man, so I'm not worthy, right? If you're a good mom and you're taking care of your kids, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And a lot of people are saying, and let me know if you agree or disagree with it. A lot of people are saying, well, Cardi has money, she can take care of a baby. Like, is money the only thing that matters for children? Sound off in the comments. Let me know. I feel like this as a mom. When you're a mom, the last thing that you should be thinking about is dating and having a romantic relationship, especially when you have 3 little ones at home. Now, if they're older and they're teenagers, okay, you have a little bit more leeway. But when you have little ones, they have so many demands. You got school, you have different events for them at school. I mean, children that are small are so needy. Um, I remember when my daughters were that small, like Cardi's children, and I didn't have time for myself, let alone for a man. So I don't see how she's gonna have time for that. Plus her rap career, she's saying that she's gonna go on tour immediately after having her baby. Um, and I know she can afford nannies. I know she has her family to support her. Someone said it, Cardi's Dominican, and in the Dominican Republic, some people send their children to actually live with their families. And I think that some people do that because they have to work. And so, was that you, Mama Three, that said that? Did you say that? Yeah, it's too late. The deed is done. She has to live with it now. Exactly. But for the women who don't have her resources and who don't have her assets, who may be listening, and I would want them to think about their lives, because it's, abortions don't have to happen, and you don't have to have a child to take care of on your own. A lot of women in Cardi's position, same position, would not have her same resources, don't even have her family to help. And if Cardi didn't have her money, I'm sure her family wouldn't stop their lives to take care of her children. But it's a lot of women of color who have lots of children, lots of baby daddies, and they leave those kids with the grandmas to watch. They leave them with other people because they can't afford daycare for all those children, and they go out and do different things. And I just feel like, we have to have, like people say, it's a woman's right to choose when or when to have a baby, but it's also should be a woman's responsibility to, be responsible with her reproductive health. Seriously. Um, like I said, this man, Stephon, he's picking and choosing which babies he wants to claim. So he's showing us right now what kind of father he would be in the future to Cardi's child. If he's already on with Cardi now, so this other baby, I don't know if it's mine or not. I need a DNA. I've been single for 4 years after my toxic ex. I learned not to jump into anything too quick. Absolutely. I will not move fast ever again. Yep. My mom always says M3 that you pay for your learning. But no, you pay for your experience, but your learning is free. hmm I think she needs to slow down too, Tamara. Um, and that's not just me trying to diss her or come down hard on her. This is like a opportunity that we all can learn from. I know I'm a little older, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't made similar mistakes and like I haven't, like my life has been a prayer, but because it's not. But that's why I can say it. Like even I have women in my life, like my friends are like way older than me. My grandmother was like, "Look, you got your girls, don't bring a man into your house." Like I had so many women after I got a divorce tell me, take care of your kids, don't worry about nothing else but taking care of your kids. Like, and I have friends, like older mentors that I worked with, um, tell me, listen. And one of my mentors, she only had one son. And she said, I feel like your job should be to take care of your children right now, don't think about anything else. And I see so many women, so many children. Like anytime, like we can pick a day, pick a website, and you see children getting abused by single moms, because it's a lot of pressure on you when you're a single mother. We also see children being abused because a single mom brought a new man into the home. This is a new man. I don't care if he is Stephon Diggs. Cardi has three children that are not his. Is he going to move into the house too? Or is mom just going to be pregnant? And then Culture's old enough to see mom's pregnant. You know what I mean? She's old enough to see my mom is having a baby. And my dad was just living here not too long ago, but now she's with this new man and having a baby. So that's not a good example to set for culture either. You know what I mean? And, as well as, she has a son, Wave. Her kids are very spoiled. They're used to living life a certain way. My kids are very spoiled. I was dating someone, and and he was like, "What would it look like if you were to ever get serious about somebody?" Because my kids call and, "Mama, where you at?" and blah blah blah. My kids don't play that when it comes to me. And just as their mom, I wouldn't want them to ever have to feel like they had to share me. And some people might say, "Well, you deserve to have a life." Okay, you do deserve to have a life when your kids are grown and gone. Dr. Laura, she says that if you divorce from your husband, or if you're married and you divorce and you have children, that you should not marry again until your children are grown, because it's so traumatic for children to go through that. Even if your husband happens to be a Russell Wilson. With Sierra's case, her son was very young. He was like 1 year old, and that worked out for her. That ended up working out for her. And some women, they get new men, and some children are receptive to it. Some children, they want to have a father figure in their life. They want that family. I know children that they have that desire to be loved on by a father figure, and they don't care if it's their dad or not. So sometimes that can happen, and I wouldn't begrudge any woman being able to find that. But I would say that the risk of it not turning out like that, like those type of situations, are slim to none. When you have several children, it is slim to none, because guess what? The good guys do not want to take care of somebody else's children. They want a family of their own. They want a fresh start with a woman. Hey, Cancer 66, how are you doing today? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope your Friday is going good. My Friday is going swell and splendid. Let you guys let me know. Like, am I being too judgmental or too critical? Because I know it can come off that way, like I'm coming down too hard on Cardi B, and I'm not trying to come down hard on her. I just want to see her do better. She has so many fans who look up to her, so many fans who support her, and so many fans who are speaking up for her, right? And again, yes, she can afford to have more children, but she has been saying on her rollout, doing her promo, that she deals with depression, and during her divorce, she had a lot going on to the point she didn't even want to do her album. So, what if things don't work out well with this guy? And odds are they're not going to work out. Odds are they're not working out. Like I said, he has one paternity suit. He's already denying one child. You can go over to TMZ. They have a video of him putting a car seat in the car. He's at the hospital. That was another child. And then he has, I think, twins that will have already been born or will be born. And then he has Cardi. So, Cardi, you don't even have this man to yourself. You know what I mean? He's not your husband. You guys don't live together. So when he has these children, you got to divide. He has to divide his time between you, his football career, and his other children. So Offset had also had three babies by three different women, and um, she had to navigate that. So when she had her first child, she also had to welcome in three of his prior children. Um, so that will be the same thing with this Diggs fellow. He will have three other children. He will have to deal with baby mama drama. He will also have to deal with his football career, which is very demanding and is year round. He has to train for that year round. So I don't know. I wish her the best. But like I said, if you're a mom, I know that it's, rough being alone and doing it on your own, but I don't think you should add to your add to your life, or by having someone who's possibly not right for you or your children, or uproot or turn your kids' life upside down by adding more children and making even more mistakes, because that's not cool either. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. It's about Karreuche Tran and Deion Sanders. My mom is a big fan of Deion Sanders and the Sanders boys. She's like always like, talk about Deion Sanders. I'm like, Mom, I don't think that Shador Sanders and what's going on with his football life is appropriate for my channel. Like my the money getters like drama. They like Peach McIntyre. They don't want to hear about football. But I stumbled upon this story about Deion Sanders and Karreuche Tran. You know, Karreuche used to date Chris Brown. That's how we came to know her. She's, you know, got her start in the limelight being Chris Brown's girlfriend. I feel Cardi B has a big heart when it comes to kids, but it seems she always gets the short end of the stick. I pray everything works out for her. Well, you get what what you allow. That's what I feel. I don't feel like women should indulge in victimhood. I think we should definitely take responsibility for our choices. It's a choice. You know, it's not like you are young in your 20s and this is your first go at it. With Offset, she was in her 20s and she was just becoming famous. She had a whole new world to navigate. And she felt like she fell in love. But I feel like with this guy, it was like, what Stephon did is like, let me prove to the world that I can get somebody else, that I won't end up, single, a single baby mama alone without Offset. Let me prove to Offset that I can move on and I can find someone just as good without him, right? And shoot, let's not kid ourselves. Stephon is fine. He's fine as hell. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a lot for Cardi B. I just feel like it's gonna be a lot for her, especially because she has a lot of kids. It's gonna be right, Tamara. It definitely is gonna be a lot to handle. She's going to have to rely on her family, rely on her faith, and I hope that for Stephon's sake. Hold on, guys. Okay. Yeah. Stephon Diggs is fine, and he has, he does have his football career, but with four other baby mamas, I hope she at least tells him, look, I need you to put aside $1 million in a trust fund in case things go left with me and you. I need to know my baby's gonna be taken care of because, you know, excuse me, football injuries do happen, and they pay a lot of taxes, and that child support money can eat up a brother's income. He can go from rags to riches really quick. It happens all the time. She juggled it pretty well with her kids and Offset, so she'll be okay. She's been absent from her children a lot this year with her new relationship with Stephon Diggs and work. Her kids are often a lot with her family. To me, as a mom, if you have to work, you have to work. Yes, it was a lot for her. She said she took off some time and she spent time at home. But I gotta say this. I gotta say this, and this is a judgment call. I don't believe in women leaving their kids with family all the time. I believe as a mom, you should be home with your kids. When they're young. I feel like even if you're married, I feel like the man should work and the woman should be home with the kids. That's old fashioned, but I just feel like your kids need you in their toddler and in their, younger ages. Sometimes they switch off and you might have a stay at home dad. Parents can do that. Okay, you go work for a couple of years and I get to stay home. I'll go work for a couple of years and you get to stay home. I don't have a problem with that. I don't. But I think while those kids are young, when they're infants, I don't think that they should be with somebody else. I just don't. And I know some women have to work. They don't have a choice. They have to go back to work even before their 6 weeks is up. However, you know, if you have one child and that's your situation, okay, things happen. But to have two, three, four, five, and then you're saying, well, I can have it all. No, you cannot. I think I mentioned this as well. It was T.I. and Tiny's daughter, Zanique. I mentioned this a couple of days ago. She had issues, and she said with her mom leaving her to go on the road with T.I. Whitney Houston's daughter, she had a lot of trauma from the things she endured with, and I don't want to speak to Whitney. Rest in peace, Whitney. But I'm just saying it's not only Cardi's children, it's a lot of children who say, you know what, my dad and my mom provided for us, but they belong to the world. When I needed my mom and dad, they were not there. What you think about other women and what they do with their kids is irrelevant, just like you. And what you think about me and what I have to say is irrelevant, JP. See how that works? Just like you think what my opinion is irrelevant, I think the same way about you. Like, what makes you think I care more about what you think and what you say than I do about my own opinions? And here you are on my channel. Here you are on my irrelevant ass channel with my 11 people in my chat and my 5 likes. Damn, you must feel like a big ass loser. You know what I'm saying? You over here commenting. You found me. I didn't find you. I would never come to your page. See how that works? But run along. And if you keep irritating me, I'll just block you. So, whatever. But again, like I said, if you make one bad choice, that's one thing. But at some point, it becomes neglect. It becomes irresponsible to keep having children when you know that you're going to end up a single mom, or if you're not married and they don't have that two-parent household. It becomes irresponsible and it becomes neglectful. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I'm not even paying attention to him at this point. But so yeah, yeah. So like, let's just think about our kids first, and let's put them first. And you know, if your marriage didn't work out, that's I feel like as a mom, I date. I don't bring any men home. I do date. But the reason why I don't bring men home is because uh, I don't want my kids to meet somebody and it doesn't work out. That's number one. Number two, if I'm dating someone, I'm getting to know them. So why would I have them around my children and I don't really know them, right? Number three, why would what if I bring that person into my child's life and they get used to them, and then we break up, and then my child has to deal with the trauma of now their father isn't in the home, and now this new guy that I brought around them, now he's not there. La Fala, this live is about other folks' business who don't know us. It's diabolical. And yet here you are, Ebony. You are right here instead of being at work, punching in and punching out, the warehouse or wherever it is you at, or whatever it is you do. I don't know what people like you do who come around and police podcasters. I don't know what you do. But whatever you're doing, you're not getting paid to be over here trying to tell my grown ass what to do, are you? That's diabolical. I'm building my channel over here. What you doing? Helping me build it with your comments. See how that works? Um, Mad as hell that you over here still commenting. And the only reason why I'm leaving you in the comments because, like I said, that helps my algorithm. See how that works? When I log off of here, I'm gonna have hours of with people like you participating. And you know what those hours are going to lead to? Monetization. And you know what that means? I get paid. So I get paid whether you put a good comment or not. And you still didn't affect nothing. I'm still saying what I said. So yeah. But yes, back to what I was saying about Cardi B and her need to keep her legs closed. No, I'm just playing. But yes, she does have money, but at the same time, you know, responsibility is also a value that we all should have. Money is not the barometer. How much money you have is not the barometer of how good of a parent you will be. The good choices you make and putting your kids first is what a good parent is how you show you're a good parent. As a good mother or a good father, you don't do certain things because you know that it will affect your children. And having several children by several different men that you don't know. It's women that have men by different fathers. However, they remarry, right? And they rebuild other relationships. I know women like that all the time. They were married to one man and they had several children by him, and then a couple of years later they met someone. He's a good man. He's a good father to her kids, and they move on, and those kids see that new man as their father as well. And maybe she has more kids by him. It happens. But what if you're a married woman and your husband loses his life, right? And now you're a widow, right? And so then later on in the game, you marry somebody else. But what if the same thing happens to him and you had children with him? And then before you know it, you got three sets of different kids by three different men that you married. But if not for them leaving this earth, you would still be married with them. I think that's not a bad thing. People have different lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? People have different things, and then even if it wasn't the case, even if it was you just met was a bad decision maker and you had different kids, sometimes that works out too. So we don't want to ever be put everybody into one box and say, okay, everybody should do things this way. This is the way you should do it. If you don't follow the rules this way, then you're not a good mom. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you are intentionally making poor choices and you don't care about the choices you're making and you say, okay, it is whatever, and you're already in your 30s. This is not a 20 something year old woman who's just starting off in life. This is a 30 something year old woman who made the choice to be with another man who already has other children born in the same year. This is not even somebody who got with somebody else, fell in love, remarried, and had a child. This is somebody that got with somebody who already had three children coming, already has three different broken homes. I can't respect that as a mom. I cannot respect that as a mom that potentially you're going to end up brokenhearted again, and then now as a mom you're going to have four children, and now you're going to have to get over yet another bad breakup, and it's going to be public. It won't even be a year. um, Call me a hater, whatever, I'm just being real. It won't even be a year before Cardi is back on the internet crying and ridiculing Stephon did and calling him and telling him how his mother didn't raise a good person like she did with Offset. Because she got on the internet, Offset's mother ain't shit, Offset ain't shit, his mother raised a piece of shit, but but yet she gets pregnant by somebody else, not even divorced, not even a year after having blossomed. So we got to hold women just as accountable. If I'm going to say Stephon, and you know, Stephon, why are you having baby after baby? Why are you having broken homes? We did it to Nick Cannon when it was Nick Cannon. Nobody cared that Nick Cannon is rich. Nick Cannon has 1,000 jobs. What we cared about was you have all these different broken homes. You have 12 kids by, I think, how many different women? I think by 9 different women. And he finally said if he loved himself more or if he was more healed, he wouldn't have had done that. He loves his children, but if he hadn't, but if he had thought about it a little harder, he wouldn't have done that. Because I don't think all of his children have ever been in the same room at once. So he has children that are siblings that don't even have a relationship with one another. But he's rich, so we should clap for him, right? We should clap for Nick Cannon, and he has all those children, and yet they're not being raised in the same home. He's not married to any of the mothers, and he knows that. And I'm glad that he has uh, made the decision to be open and honest about that, right? Yeah. So yeah, but yeah. But like I was saying, let's move on to Karreuche Tran because I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I don't want JP to completely blow his top. Look at him; he's in the comments insulting. Like this is what always gets me going and makes me laugh. Like you come and you defend somebody else and by insulting. So what you call me, you are being worse than because I didn't insult anybody. I didn't call anybody a name. I didn't say anything derogatory. I'm talking about choices, not people. But here you are calling me big back. I like you to know I'm on the weight loss journey, sir. And my forehead is pretty, and so am I. You wish that you could be like me. You wish that anybody would listen to you. You don't even have a photo because you hate yourself so much. You like really hate who you are. And let me report you harassment or bullying so you can go ahead and lose your page. And you're harassing me, and let's report that. Everybody, please report him. And so he can lose his page and have to start from scratch. Bye bye, JP. Have a good day. Let me report this one too. Okay. All right. And so we won't have to worry about you again. Bye bye. Bye bye. Don't cry. Please don't cry. Um, and let's hide user on this channel. So we've hidden him and we reported him. See, very easy. Very easy. Thanks for reporting him. Sometimes you get trolls who come in and act like they're getting paid to defend others. And we let them go for a little bit because it just adds to the topic. It's fun for me. It doesn't really bother me at all. I don't really care about people who don't pay my bills. Not like that. Like I don't care and let people bother me who don't pay my bills. It's fun. Like I love trolls. I love trolls. I will get into it with them. I mean, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And I'll have their blood boiling before they'll do that to me. And like I said, it just adds to the fun we're having. But let me go back to this Karreuche Tran tea. You guys all know who Karreuche Tran is, right? Right, worrying about us talking about somebody while they're talking about somebody. We're all over here doing the same thing. How are you going to police me? I'm grown. Like, come on now. People hate, let me tell you something. People hate to be held accountable. They hate it. They hate it. No, Connie, you are not paying my bills. Well, you kind of are because you're helping me get monetized. So you kind of are. So, like, it doesn't matter what your comment is, but let me go ahead and do this. Hey, Ryan, let me report you too. I like reporting people for harassment or bullying. Me. This is harassing me. And let's report you. See, now you get to lose your channel. Okay, now you get to lose your channel, and now you'll have to make a new one if you want to come up here and harass me. Look at how funny that is. That's so funny. Okay, let's hide you from the channel as well. Ryan, what's up, bro? How are you doing today? You heard about Karreuche? Okay, So let's see. Deion Sanders believed to have secretly married Karreuche. Um, they got ring pics. Let's see. This is Media Takeout, by the way. Media Takeout. They've been around for years, but the ring that she has on, they're talking about the ring. Come on now. Okay, let's read the story. Let's read the story, and you guys react in the comments. All right, it says exclusive Colorado head coach Deion Sanders secretly marries Karreuche Tran. She's been spotted with the ring. The ring is not an engagement ring at all. It's just a ring. It looks like I don't know. It could be a engagement ring or it could be a wedding ring, but I've never seen a wedding ring like that. But who knows? Rich people do it differently. Media Takeout just got our hands on some juicy tea, and it's about none other than Coach Prime himself, Deion Sanders. According to a close friend of actress and model Karreuche Tran, the two have taken their relationship to the next level by secretly tying the knot. Uh, Earlier this year, Media Takeout was the first to break the story that Karreuche and Deion were quietly dating. At the time, sources told us the two were getting closer than anyone realized. So dramatic. After Karreuche helped him through his battle with cancer, that emotional support reportedly bonded them in a way neither saw coming. Oh, what a story. How romantic, okay? She's in the hospital helping him, wipe his booty, and he falls in love. Now, insiders say things have gone even further. Karreuche and Deion are already married. One friend spilled to us it was private, very small, just family. They did it at his Colorado home. Wow, how sweet. So you guys are hearing it from me first. Um, you're not surprised? You're not surprised on that? I know he's older, but he was with Babyface's ex wife. What's her name, Ryan? What's her name? I forgot her name. Who knows Babyface's ex wife's name? Let me see. Let me see. Let me look it up. That's why I always have to have my phone next to me because you guys know I would lose my head if it wasn't attached. Babyface, um, ex wife. His ex-wife, what I liked about her, some of these men marry women for their looks, but um, one thing about, what's her, Tracy Edmonds. One thing about Tracy has never rested on her looks or her laurels. Tracy has always been about business, okay? She had her own record label, she had her own production company, and she actually used to be Karrueche's boss. So there's that little tea. He was also supposed to marry Eddie Murphy, but at the altar, Eddie Murphy said, I can't do it. So I don't know what happened with that. A lot of people were saying she wanted to hurry up and walk down that aisle with Eddie. Eddie is banked up. But Eddie was like, no, I'm not going to be able to do it. He had divorced his first wife. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Who was his first wife? And she ended up going with that other bat football player. It's like Hollywood is so small, and everybody ends up with everybody. He married Nicole Murphy. Nicole Murphy is who he was with. Oh, they don't even give Nicole a hyperlink on Wikipedia, like she's a nobody. That's messed up. Nicole is so Nicole is so pretty too. Um, she's definitely a looker. But she was actually with that guy that's on what's his name? So many people's names to remember. But yeah, anyway, Karrueche Tran and Tracy Edmonds worked together, and Tracy asked her, "Hey, I heard you're dating Deion." Like, girl, and she was like, "Oh no, we're not dating." And the whole time, she was dating her man, and she's working for her on her show. Ugh. But whatever. There's no, what they say, all is fair in love and war. There's no friends when it comes to love. If he was free and Karreuche was free, they both are single. Single people could do what single people want to do, I guess. But yeah, everybody is saying that they are married. I don't know how true it is. So allegedly, um, let's just put it like that. What do you guys think of that? Do you care about Deion and Karreuche possibly being married? And while I'm at it, let me do my fair use uh, statement. Fair use is, let me see, let me do. Okay. Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act gives me permission to use different pictures and make comments and criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research without permission from copyright holders. So there's that. We're not over here bullying. We're over here just having opinions and, talking about people whose life don't really affect us. And also us talking about them will really not affect them because, you know, it just won't. But yes, there's my broke down, hand me down for you statement. Just to protect myself. And everything over here is alleged. I don't know that Karreuche is married to Deion. I'm just reading from another website about, them potentially being married. So, yeah. So, why the secrecy? Deion has been focused on rebuilding the Colorado Buffaloes football program and keeping the spotlight on the team. Meanwhile, Karreuche, 37, has been careful about keeping her love life privately after very public past relationships. Together, it makes sense that they choose to keep a wedding under wraps. So they're about 21 years apart in age. And, 37, she's an adult. But, 58, uh, that's kind of up there, but like 37 is almost 40. I mean, they're 21 years apart. When she's 40 and he's 61, um, they're both well into adulthood and they can both choose to be with whoever they want to be with. And, hopefully that works out for them. The bigger picture, if true, this will mark one of the most surprising celebrity marriages of 2025. Deion Sanders, NFL legend turned college football's most talked about coach, and Karreuche Tran, actress, model, and style icon, are an unexpected but undeniably glamorous pair. I don't know about glamorous. Like I said, Deion is getting up there and he's kind of old. You know, um, a lot of people, when they found out they were dating, a lot of people had a lot to say. They were like, that's kind of like that was a shocker. Nobody expected Karreuche to end up with Deion, but Karrueche's getting long in the tooth. She's not the young, cute little petite, you know, eye candy that she was when she was with Chris Brown. She and Chris Brown dated what, 15 years ago. So she getting up there, and she need a man with some money. I don't blame her. But yeah, that's the tea on them. So, um, that'll probably come out eventually if true, or they'll deny it if it's not true. But that came from mediatakeout.com, so take that as you will. They're not always the most reliable source. All right, so let's get into this David tea. Yesterday I reported, or I did a live, and I included David, spelled D4vd, on the show. Momma througj. She did a live about this case. So go over to her channel and check that out as well. But after I did my live, I was, just scrolling through YouTube. Ooh, excuse me, guys, and TikTok. And this story has got the blogosphere, bloggers. Oh, child, please say something else, girl. They have the internet in an uproar because a lot of people want to know what in the hell happened. What happened? Like, why is this older guy? Why was he with this 15-year-old child? And somebody said, well, he's young himself. Well, they said she had been dating him since she was 12, which would have made him 17 at the time. But 12 and 17, you don't usually see 17-year-olds with 12-year-olds. That's a different age bracket, a different maturity level. So that was crazy. And then what was even crazier, this girl had been missing since she was for over a year. Okay, and her friends knew she was dating him and was with him. They said she actually ran away to be with him. So here he is, this TikTok star. He wasn't really hiding the relationship. He wrote songs about her. Her name is Celeste. David wrote songs about he and Celeste. They had matching tattoos. He would post her, I think, on his close friends. So people knew where she was. The mom says she ran away. But the sister, she had a younger sister or older sister, and she also knew where she was. So I want to know how that angle ties into everything. Like the mom knew that their daughter was missing and with this guy. And as I stated on my live yesterday, TMZ actually broke the case on this. So, but today, an update on that is that he actually had his tour canceled because what happened is, and let me give you a little backstory. David is an internet TikTok sensation. He has like over 3 million followers on TikTok. He has several million followers over here on YouTube, but he just started off as a streamer or a TikToker or a YouTuber, I don't know, but so that he could avoid copyright strikes, he started making his own music, and now he's touring as a musician, right? But while he's on tour, he has a Tesla that was impounded, and when it got to the impound lot, um, people started noticing the smell and contacted authorities, and the body of Celeste was found in the back of his trunk, cut up into different pieces. They said she was already decomposing, so I don't know how far that had happened because they were able to see the tattoo on her finger. So we don't know how many days she was actually in the trunk. They had the car, the Tesla at the lot, the impound lot for 2 days. So it had already been 2 days when that she had been in the trunk. So how much more she had been in the truck before that, we don't know. But for them to be able to see the tattoo, then I would say that she hadn't been, you know, unalive for that long, right? Because they could still tell who she was and that it was a female. They could still tell it was a female and they were still able to identify her. They would not have been able to identify her if she had been deceased for a good portion of time. Also, David has been on tour, so it's like, okay, is he responsible for this? He's actually wrote songs, laying out this whole ordeal that happened, basically saying that he could do exactly what has been done to her. Um, and if not him, who? It was his car. She was last with him. So who else would do this to her? Somebody made a comment that he was afraid she was going to disclose their relationship, which would make him be guilty of statutory rape. I don't know how true that is because her mom actually knew about him. Everybody knew about him, so her not being here wasn't going to absolve him of any guilt. Not only that, if the mother had a big problem with it, she would have sent the authorities, and no matter what, he wouldn't have been able to say anything different because she was a child and she had ran away, and she was supposed to be at home under her parents' roof, not with him. So I don't know. I feel like he has something to do with it. Now, somebody said, what if she overdosed or what if something happened and he got scared and felt like he had to, who knows? That could have happened, but why do all that to her body? Is she someone that you loved and wrote all those songs about? You know what I mean? I feel like that's crazy for you to do that to somebody's child. So yeah, they canceled his concert because he was on tour when Celeste was found in the truck in the impound lot, and they said he actually came back because he was overseas on tour, but they said he actually came back to the states to cooperate with police and help with the investigation. Um, I'm gonna head over to TMZ because I want to see exactly what's going on. Okay, so TMZ is saying it doesn't look like David's tour is just ending in the U.S. His two Paris dates have also been canceled. Okay. David has canceled the remaining leg of his U.S. tour as questions mount over his connection to the body of a girl found in the truck of his car. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ David's camp made a decision Thursday to cancel. Oh, he only had two shows left in the U.S. He was scheduled to perform Friday night in San Francisco and Saturday night in Los Angeles, and he only had two dates in Paris, so only 4 dates. And as you can see, Axis has started alerting ticket holders for his Greek theater show in LA. The Greek theater, I don't know if you are from the West Coast or if you've ever been to the West Coast, the Greek theater is not really big. So I guess he was known, but not that well known. He wasn't like this big star because the Greek theater doesn't hold a lot of seats. It's not, it holds about, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand. It's not too big. Um, he does still have several October and November tour dates scheduled in international countries, but at this point it seems very unlikely he'd be able to leave the country amid the investigation into Celeste Rivas's death. The streamer turned musician was also scheduled to attend an event at the Grammy Museum on Wednesday, September 24th, but his name has been quietly removed from the main event page on the website. I bet it has. As seen above, the site previously had an event page welcoming David's anticipated appearance. I didn't even know who this guy was. Do any of you know David or his music? Have any of you ever been to his channel or anything like that? I don't know who this guy is. Um, and it's funny how we don't know who these people are, and all of a sudden a scandal happens, and then we know all their business. But yeah, the event was supposed to celebrate his April album, Withered, and feature a discussion about his creative process, rising career, and more. So this guy was going to be a huge star had this not happened. This isn't the first gig Davis lost out on amid the riveting investigation. His concert in Seattle, scheduled for Wednesday this week, was cut after the LA medical examiner identified the 15-year-old found in the Tesla as Celeste. Remember, Celeste's mom told TMZ she was aware Celeste was dating someone named David. You was aware she was dating someone named David. How come you didn't know him, Mom? I find that, a little concerning. At the time her daughter went missing, she was actually 13. And I guess she turned 14 a few months later. So she's been missing for over a year because she's had two birthdays since she's been missing. And, there was no panic or anything like that. That's crazy. Furthermore, TMZ learned David's music label was halting the release of the deluxe version of his album, plus all other promotional activities out of respect for the investigation. I think they said Aeropostale, he had to deal with them or something. Yeah. And, as far as the investigation is concerned, authorities searched the Los Angeles home David was believed to be living in before his tour kicked off Wednesday night And we're told they looked for traces of blood and collected hair samples while there. So yeah, people are calling him a groomer. Um, would he be a groomer if they were so close in age and if they're both young? I don't know. She was definitely a lot younger than him. 15 and 20, that's an adult and a child. It is illegal. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. That's a lot. It's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. What do you guys think of that? Let me know in the chat, please. 7 of you are in here. You're awfully quiet in the bushes. But yeah, that was all the tea really for today. It looks like the case is moving along. We're not hearing a lot of it about it right now. I'm sure the investigators are keeping it close to the vest. In my experience, when a situation like this, when any criminal case is being investigated, you won't hear a lot. Especially with something like this, investigators or detectives rather will try to keep as much as quiet as possible until they have collected all the evidence that they can collect, and they will present it to the DA's office, and then the DA will determine if charges or if there's enough to bring charges. So we won't really hear anything until they get all of the evidence processed, until they go they're probably right now they're going through David's phones and his laptops. He's probably on the phone and doing things right now. If he's guilty, we don't know that he's guilty. Everything is alleged right now. I think he's guilty of something, and if nothing else, he's guilty of harboring a minor. He's guilty of having a relationship with with a juvenile. So he's guilty of those two things. And I wonder why they don't arrest him for that. Maybe they can't hold him for that. Maybe that's a bailable charge. So if they did take him in, they wouldn't be able to really do much, and then they would kind of mess up their case. So maybe that's why they haven't arrested him. I want to know, the questions I have is, who knew that Celeste was with him? Exactly how long has she been with him? Did managers know about her? Were they aware of her age? Friends and her mother and father, were they aware of where their child was? Those are questions that I have. Um, Also, who else was Celeste around? And I also would like to know, I'm interested in knowing the time of her passing, the date of her passing. Um, the autopsy would reveal those answers. And I would be interested to know, did this guy do this and then park her somewhere and go on tour? Or did this happen after he was on tour? Um, and again, they will be able to ascertain her movements, and by looking at her social media posts, her interactions on her cell phone, who did she speak with last, they will be able to determine that. And an investigation will be looking into all of that. They're going to be doing so many things behind the scenes, and it's funny how people do things and think they're going to get away with it. The detectives are already surveying that neighborhood where the car was found. I'm sure they already have ring camera evidence of who drove that car up. I'm sure they have that evidence. They have evidence of the car leaving his house if he had ring camera, and even if he got rid of his ring camera, I'm sure they can go to the people who own Ring and get that database and get the information there. If you think you could commit a crime like this and get away with it without anybody knowing or seeing what happened, you're crazy. You're crazy. That Tesla has information in it. That's why I want a Tesla. Even these newer cars, they have information boxes and things like that that can tell where you were. Like that Tesla is going to be able to tell where that car traveled to and all of that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're gonna sweep that car for fingerprints and DNA to see whose last prints were on that that steering wheel, that door, all of that. Whose fingerprints were on the trunk? They're gonna do all of that. So, David, I hope you do have a good attorney, but it's looking like you're guilty. As the law says, we live in America, and in America, it's all about innocence until proven guilty. But again, you are guilty of something. You had that little girl, and you had her for a year and a half. And mom, you're guilty for for not making sure that you knew where your daughter was. Your daughter was a baby, 13 years old. Like a 17, 18-year old, they're kind of like, but 13 is really quite young. And her daughter, had actually been dating this boy since 12. 12, your child shouldn't even have any idea about dating boys. At 12, come on now, I have a 13-year-old, and for her not to be in my eyesight, for her to run away with somebody, 17, he would have been under the jail. Please, my daughter wouldn't even think to do something like that. Let me not speak too soon, honey, because these kids nowadays, let me not speak too soon. But yeah, I hope they find out what happened to Celeste Rivas, and I hope that whoever is responsible is brought to justice. And I hope that, if nothing else, this is a reminder to parents to make sure they are aware of who their children's friends are. Don't take for granted that you have a good kid who listens, who is responsible, because even good kids who make good grades and who never disrespect you and who never do any wrong, even they can be susceptible to encountering the wrong individual and making bad choices. It's life. A couple of weeks ago, there was a girl who left home in the middle of the night and was supposed to be coming back home and never made it home. She was 19 years old, and they quickly found out what happened to her and arrested the person. But by the time her father had even contacted authorities, she was already gone. Um, Her perpetrator had already threw her over a bridge. So, there was nothing that police could do at that point. So we have to not only make sure that we know where our kids are and what they're up to, but talk to your kids and let them know. Tell them about stories like this. Tell them about Celeste. Tell them about these girls who are sneaking out and leaving in the middle of the night. There was this girl in California a couple of years ago, in Bakersfield, California, actually, and she met somebody online, and her parents had no idea. One night she snuck off with him, and he brought her back home, and she snuck back in, and nobody knew a thing. Well, a couple of nights later, she met up with him again, and this time he disposed of her. He deleted her from this earth. And what ended up happening was, like it's gonna happen, like exactly what's gonna happen in Celeste's case. He, the investigators probably, went into her cell phone, and they were able to determine that she had this relationship with this grown man, and they were able to get him and arrest him. And she was only like 12 or 13. And like I said, her parents didn't even know she had already snuck out and that she was meeting this grown man. So we had to make sure that we are doing all that we can to love on our children and make sure that we are teaching them about things like this that can take place in life, and also make sure that we are boosting their self-esteem and uh, doing all that we can to make sure that they are not susceptible to these kind of experiences, because I know that sometimes kids can get lonely, they can get bored. Most kids, if they know to be aware of weirdos online. Most kids learn about it at school. Most kids watch TV, and they have different messaging that tries to advocate for children's safety online. So our kids are aware of it. However, if you have a child that is closed off or antisocial, or who is showing signs of depression, a child that may not feel as secure with themselves, this is the type of kid that a predator can attach themselves to online. Or in Celeste's case, This is the type of kid that will feel special because somebody like David has struck start a relationship with them, right? So we have to make sure we are, our children's first line of security and safety, that we, and give them experiences that bring them joy, and that we tap into their creativity and all those type of things, because when we don't, we can lose them to a weirdo. And this guy was weird for real. I don't know if you took a look at the thumbnail, the picture I posted of him on there. Very weird. Very weird. So thank you guys for tuning in. Replay. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy today's live. I wanted to update you guys on this very important case. I want you guys to be reminded to talk to your children and know what's going on with them. And I also gave you a little bit of tea about Karreuche and Deion Sanders, just a little fun tea. Um, if they're married, good for those two. Hopefully they're in love. There was also a picture of Karreuche with Deion's grandson Snow, and everybody was calling her a grandma or something like that or whatever. That's funny because she's only 37, but yeah. So, and also good luck to Cardi and her impending boy bundle of joy. Hopefully everything works out with her and Stephon. Um, at the very least, if they don't marry or if they do marry, hopefully they will have a much better relationship than Cardi had with Offset, because her relationship with him was pretty toxic, and he did a lot of cheating. So I hope that this relationship bodes much better for her. You guys have a good Friday, okay? And don't forget, guys, I am having my pajama jammy jam. We won't be talking about anybody else's business. We'll actually be letting our hair down and having a little fun over here on my channel. So that's 6 p.m. Pacific time, and it's gonna last until whenever we decide to log off. I'll be well rested, so I recommend you take a nap so you can be well rested and get your snacks and decide what you're gonna drink and get your pajamas. You have like what, a little over 24 hours, so no excuses. I'll be giving away some cash prizes. We'll be playing some fun games. Yo, the mommy money getter, is gonna be over there on my channel. Richie, he was in the chat earlier. He'll be over there as well. We'll be live from StreamYard. So, make sure you look cute. Make sure you look presentable if you want to join the panel, and just be ready to have fun. All right, guys, that's it for today. You guys have a good day. See you tomorrow.